Hi, everyone. Welcome. If you're joining us, please let us know where you are in the world and what organization you work for.
Can we turn the chat on?
Yes, let me make sure. Jeff, would you mind doing that for me? All right, let's try it again. Chat should be open. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. If you can, put in where you're based, what organization you're with, maybe some greetings on this fine Wednesday.
We've got the two hands up. Were those people telling us that the chat was off or? Okay.
Awesome. Okay. I guess we can get started. Are you all ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Wait, why did I get blurry? Okay, there we go. Nice and in focus, ready to rock. Hey everybody, thanks for joining this demo of Inbox Zero. My name is Michael Phelan. I see a lot of names that I know in the chat and also even more names that I don't know. And I don't know which one makes my heart feel even warmer. But thank you all for being here. I want to introduce you to a very exciting new tool that I have been building in collaboration with a couple of pals to deal with the number one pain point that I've had as a email organizer for over a decade, which is all of the replies from wonderful people, mean people, weird robots, weird people, and all that stuff. So we all know, I think everybody on this list, certainly everybody that I know, has managed a big email list and has had to work through how to handle that. So before I start running through stuff, I would just want to put a poll out there now to see how people are currently handling it. And so we got a couple choices. I don't know how the polls work.
I'm actually about to launch it right now.
All right. Stand
One
by. So
sec.
I want to get a sense of like how people are doing this, because this has been a problem that it's like the number one thing that I talk to other people about when I'm talking about, just peer to peer and beer to beer. What are our problems? Um, and so for over a decade, I've been asking this, and the answer is always like it's just a massive time suck for me. We throw volunteers at it, and then we lose those volunteers. We have a complicated system of rotations where people who lose March Madness brackets have to do it, or you just don't monitor it and hope for the best, which is bad, and in some jurisdictions potentially illegal. So this has always been a thing that that has, just been a massive pain point. It's always like the worst 2 hours of your week when you have to do it, which means that it's the first thing that you wipe off when things start to slip. And then once it started to slip, it just piles up more and more. You feel worse and worse, and it's more and more likely that you're going to fall into the don't monitor it camp, and that is bad. So as I said, I've been looking for a solution for this for a long time. I had this like massive lattice of Gmail filters and labels that I tried to build myself, that were all like keyword based. And the problem with that, which always why it always failed and frustrated me, is that like keywords can be confused because people use different language to talk about different things. Because we're humans, we're all writers, we understand that. I wish I had taken a picture of my, like, I think there were like 30 different filters going on at once, before I just like got so angry that I deleted them all. But I don't really need to keep telling you about the problem. This company, Inbox Zero, was really founded on my relationship with my developer, Craig Johnson. And a big part of our relationship is just I G-chat him tech problems, and he comes up with solutions for them or tells me why that isn't actually a problem. And so in this case, like after complaining about him for the 8th year in a row, he was like, well, I've been messing around with AI. I know a lot of what you hear about AI, what you see on the news is like the generative AI, where it's going to write all your college essays and put email writers out of business. But there's this other application called Classifier AI that basically reads everything and can sort for it. And I was like, well, shoot, that sounds perfect. So we started building it, and it works. So the benefits of this, I think goes without saying, it's a massive time savings, because more than half of the replies that you get are just people who are saying that they're out of office in weird, different ways. And so if you can just wipe them away, you've already cut your time in half, and you're not playing roulette with, is this person going to call me the N-word or say that they're on vacation? So you get better time savings, better relationships with your supporters. There are a lot of people, no matter how many places you put your PO box, if it's in your email footer, if it's on every ActBlue page, they're just like, I want to donate with a check. I'm afraid of the internet. Would you please reply with that? So you'll never miss those. And my favorite part is that about 1% of your replies are complete like lunatics who are saying things that are like really worth sharing with your whole staff because they're so weird. And this way you can find them. So that's enough preamble. Let's demo. So I'm going to share my screen, and we'll start from this beautiful picture of me 30 pounds lighter. Pandemic was wild. So everything is based on Google Workspace. That's what I found most people use for their organizational works. So everything is sign in with the Gmail account that you're planning to use, that the replies come to. So I'm going to sign in with info@socialsecurityworks.org right now. And as you can see, everything is automatically sorted. And we've got these 3 up top that are red, because those are the real emails that you want to deal with. I'm going to show the ones that it's done with, just so that we can get a sense of what an average reply box is. And this is like live. So this is the work that I have to do ahead of me with Social Security Works, right? So we've got about 50 real people commenting, 200 out of offices, 7 people that asked for the mailing address, some hate speech, some people asking not to do fundraising emails, some unsubscribes, and some like, irrelevant people emailing us in Italian or signing us up to other people's email lists, stuff like that. So I want to point out, if you look at the mailing address, they've already gotten an auto response because the confidence was high enough. So walking through this, we've got the label, everything. The robots will tell you how sure they are about how they sorted stuff. And so in this case, they were very certain. It got an A, and it went ahead and sent them a canned auto response. So right now, we have no generative AI hooked up to this at all. Any words that we have it send are words that I wrote, and it doesn't iterate. So that way, we don't have to worry about it, hallucinating a few extra numbers onto our PO box and our checks getting lost. So this is, in the past week, we've had 7 auto replies. Our average check donation is, I think, $37 at Social Security Works. So I don't know why I had to involve 2 prime numbers, but you guys can do the math because you're not talking right now. That's like real money that is coming in that would not otherwise be. And because it is AI, it learns. So each one of these emails is a new use case, is a new data point for it. And so there are a few that the robots don't understand yet. And over time, this number comes out to 0. So when I started using it with Social Security Works, the number of uncertains and the number of genuine comments was usually pretty similar. And as I have gone through and relabeled things, then now I get to the point where we've got like 40 genuine comments for every it's like 4 to 1. So many more real things are there. The folks who have obviously asked to unsubscribe just get automatically unsubscribed. So we can hook in with basically any email service that has an API. So like, we love Action Network. I think everybody should work with them. But if you've made the mistake to work with ActionKit or EveryAction or MailChimp, their APIs have all the functions that we need to unsubscribe people, to add a tag to people who say, sorry, I can't help financially. So they get tagged with a no fundraising emails label. And then we can exclude them from future fundraising emails. So it's a pretty simple interface. It's a pretty simple solution to what has been a very vexing problem for me. So those are the main demo things. I want to leave some time for questions from folks. And I know Aram has been looking at my co-founder Aram has been in the replies. Yeah, so the question is, how does the auto response work? Basically, you can set it to certain confidence thresholds, right? So it automatically unsubscribes people. We'll get to pricing information, I promise. So we set, like, for unsubscribe, we don't want the consequences of accidentally unsubscribing someone are pretty significant. So it has to be 95% sure or higher, and then it will automatically unsubscribe those. For the people who ask for mailing addresses, I think that we have the threshold a little bit lower. I forget exactly what the number is. I want to say 70-ish. And so it's just a canned message that is like, hey, thanks, here's our mailing address, make the check payable to, your support's amazing. But so that's part of our intake process, is figuring out like what your auto responses, what you want your auto responses to say, and then they're all hard coded. So there's no, again, um, no generative stuff. I'm gonna do pricing after we do questions, so I'll come back to that one. Yes, when you hit reply, it does shoot off to Gmail. Let me pull that back up. I missed that part. So this person says, I donate to Social Security Works every month and it's on ACH payments to them, but it for some reason isn't properly tagged. So I hit reply and it just opens up in a new tab in Gmail. And just like normal, you can say, I'm so sorry, our data is bad. I will update it. And this will never happen again. And then you press send. But I'm not going to press send on this one because, um, you know, but live replying, live demos are one thing. Live replies and demos are another. Let me pull the chat back up and see what else we got. Is it compatible with Help Scout? I don't know what Help Scout is. So I'm going to say probably, because again, the all the API stuff is fairly simple, and so anything that has like tags and subscribe unsubscribe toggles, we're going to be able to find and hook up. It just might take a couple extra steps for new ones. We've done Action Network, we've done Every Action, we've done MailChimp. And so Action Network, Every Action, Action Kit, MailChimp are what we've done so far. Can it be used in Outlook? So it's all based on Gmail. So for right now, you have to have a Google Workspace account. Does it only work in English? That is a very interesting question. Our current language models are all in English. We do have some translation models. I'd have to ask our coders how that would work. So for does it only work with English? I will say yes for now. Can it check historical responses? Yes, it can. So how it works is it goes back and everything is based on Gmail labels. So when we go in, it will start labeling. I believe, I think that's true. Actually, let me check with Craig. Or Aram, can you chat Craig and ask if it goes backwards or if it's only as things come in, and then we can answer that. We don't use Action Network. So for right now, can this generate a CSV list of email addresses to unsubscribe? That's an interesting question. No, at the moment, but I haven't looked at that. But Michael, I would be interested in what you do use, because if it has an unsubscribe feature, I think we can connect it to that. Can multiple users be logged in simultaneously? Yeah, the login is just a Gmail login. So whatever the rules are for logging into your Gmail will be true for this as well. Another question about different languages. Again, I think that would be some unique training data that we would need to collect. So that's a future thing that we can do. How good is it at detecting phishing attempts? Could it inadvertently become a vector for a DDoS attack? So the login is literally like a Gmail login. So it has all of the we're not like using the same stuff. It's as safe as it is to log into Gmail, and as safe as your data is in Gmail, it is here. Question about how we store and process data is Inbox Zero, everything stays stored in your Gmail account. Inbox Zero processes the last week of stuff, so it's like 7 days, and then it wipes, and so it's a rolling 7 day. And so we don't store anything, so it's fairly secure from that. And can you make the addition of the hate speech tag also trigger an unsubscribe? Yes, you can. Any plans to work with TMC? We are working on it. We've had some nice meetings, but I can't promise anything. There are questions in the Q&A section as well.
I was just gonna point that out.
All right, I'm almost to caught up here. Are there other things that automatically happen inside this CRMs once confidently categorized? For example, updating an activist code. We can do custom stuff like that. The challenge for something as granular as automatically updating an activist code is that we need to have a lot of training data on why that activist code would be updated. So I think when we onboard, that's something that we can talk about setting up. All right, now I'm jumping over to the Q&A. This looks amazing. Okay, so we did that. Oh, I already answered all these. TMC is the movement cooperative. Aaron, which is the one that you answered that I should address? Oh, got it. Yeah. So Josh asked, because he got a sneak preview a couple months ago, that we had to have a certain amount of emails sitting in the inbox for each thing to work for the initial training. And so we have continued to mess with it since we showed it to you. And basically, it starts with an initial model and continues from there. So you don't necessarily need to have the giant stuff in the inbox. Like our training process is a lot simpler than it was when we talked to Josh a couple months ago. And so I think that is all of the questions, but they can keep coming in. So I want to talk about pricing, which I think is for a lot of people, the painful part. But for us, our big priority is to make tools that people will use and make them broadly available. So the fun part about our prices is that they're relatively low. We have we're doing for right now special introductory pricing. It's a small, medium, large model where if your active user base is under 250,000 per send, then it's $100 a month. If it's 250 to 500,000, it's $200 a month. And if it's above 500,000 up to like 2 million, then it's $300 a month. So 1, 2, 3, small, medium, and large. That is a limited thing, and we're mainly we're really interested in getting more users so that we can get user feedback, so that we can keep making things better, and so that we can get a little bit of cash to spend on strengthening some of the UX stuff a little bit. We are also, one of the things that we're really interested in, whether or not people are interested in, is parallel to this, we have been building a generative AI tool called Change Agent, which we're thinking about integrating so that we could have like suggested replies. It still wouldn't have the robot talk to people automatically, but it would potentially save even more time. And Aaron put the URL for that in the chat. So that's the tool. If you are interested, in signing up. Go to inbox0.org. That's the numeral 0. And there's a schedule a demo thing. You can just sign up on the Calendly and we can get started. And if you have any more questions, my email is just michael@inbox0.org. That's, again, the numeral 0. And I'm happy to talk to anyone. And yeah, for thank you. So it's, again, the pricing for right now, our special introductory pricing, if your active universe is under 250,000, it's 100 a month. If it's 200 to 500,000, it's 200 a month. And if it's 500,000 to 2.5 million, then it's 300 a month. And above that, let's talk.
Awesome. I know we had that poll earlier. Just also wanted to share, I don't know if we touched on that earlier, Michael, of how folks manage their inbox. Can you see that?
Wait, sorry, I was looking at the question in the Q&A. Can you say that again?
Oh, I was just gonna say that I was sharing the poll response. I know we didn't share it with the folks.
Oh, yeah. So this is interesting to see. 58% does it themselves. An additional 17% has another staff member at their org. So that's like 3/4 are using staff time on it. 4% or only one person has a volunteer or intern, and 5 brave souls admitted to not monitoring it. So you are brave, and this is anonymous. Another great question from the chat. Some of us have been saddened and concerned to see Progressive develop digital tools bought up by venture capital and others who don't seem to share our interests. Can you say anything about ownership and the trajectory you envision for this as a company? Yeah, I am also saddened and concerned to see the Bonterra Borg continue to grow. And we do not want to become a part of that. Our tools are designed by activists for activists so that we can keep doing activism, not so that we can buy boats or whatever. I don't know if Aram, if you're into boats, but so the ownership is all people who are committed to keeping the tool within the progressive movement for the progressive movement, and not for Saudi-backed billionaires.
Awesome. And we're just about at time. Thank you so much, Michael and Aram, the folks at Inbox Zero. Thank you all for joining. If you have any follow-up questions for their team, Michael threw his email in the chat. I believe Aram's email is in the chat somewhere as well. I think that was just a great question to finish it off on. Here at Action Network, we're committed to our cooperative development model, and we support organizations like Inbox Zero to further our movement and keep it in the hands of those folks who are doing the good work. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thanks, Action Network, for having us. Bless you all.